Today we're going to be working on our handstands, more importantly our press to handstands. So this video is obviously going to include our warm-up and stretching, but a lot of our drills to get this skill is a lot of strength and conditioning for our upper body, so our shoulders and our back, as well as our stomach and our hips and our legs as well. Okay, so this is going to be great for anyone to have a go at. We are going to do a lot of handstands, kick up to handstands, bunny hops, handstands against the wall, and little leg lifts, which is great for anyone to have a go at, kinder gym rec, things like that. It's also going to be great for our levels kids, even our parkour and trickers, to get lots of strength to be able to do skills on the floor, also on various different apparatuses as well. So I do encourage everyone to have a go. Doesn't matter if your ability or strength, this is going to help in any way you need. All right, there's only one more thing we need to do before the class gets started, and it needs to make sure we're safe. So the first thing we need to do is make sure we're sanitized and clean. So making sure we're sanitizing our hands. The box or the floor that we're using is also going to be nice and clean as well. The second thing is making sure we have enough space. Making sure you're not going to kick your toe on your mum's coffee table or break any cups would be amazing. Our third thing is safety, so making sure our body is safe, making sure we've got really strong muscles, which will be a part of our warm-up, and that we're really ready to go. The fourth thing is being sensible. Again, not trying anything too hard, and ensuring you are doing what you're capable of doing. Our last thing is ensuring you're on a soft surface. You can be on carpet at home, outside on the grass. If you have got tiles, maybe putting some blankets down or some pillows around you just to be sure you do have that soft surface under you. When your 5 safety S's are complete, we can start. Alright, now we're going to move on to our warm-up. So we're going to do a lot of things on the floor for our warm-up. As I said before, it's a lot of our shoulder strength as well as our arms and our legs. Okay, so we are going to be on the floor and we're going to start off with 10 push-ups. So again, on your knees or your feet, however you're most comfortable with, but we do want to make sure we do have the right technique and form. Alright, so we can start. So we're going to go with 1, 2, again making sure your chest is in, your bottom is squeezed. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, if you do start to feel your form or your technique come down, your belly starts to sag or your bottom starts to go in the air, definitely go into your knees. Alright, now we're going to do front support rock. So our shoulders are over our wrists and we want to push and rock over and come back down. So that's 1, okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. If your technique starts to decline as well, definitely go into your knees as well. 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Alright, give your arms a bit of a shake and we're going to do some bunny hops, okay? So just jumping up and down, we want to try and land into a tuck handstand. So we want to try and hold that shape there for 1 or 2 seconds, okay? Keeping your knees to your chest. If not, we just do 10 bunny hops. Alright, just to get pushing off our feet. Alright, and also holding our body weight on our hands. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Awesome. Give your arms a bit of a rest. We're going to move on to some crunches, okay? So we'll give our shoulders and our wrists a rest. We're going to do some crunches. And when you're ready, alright. So tuck in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost there, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Alright, go have a 10-second break, get a drink if you need, and then come back and we're going to do it one more time. Alright? Perfect. After 10 seconds, you're going to come back. Amazing. Brad's had his break. Take a bit longer if you need, and we're going to do it all again. So we're going to start off with our 10 push-ups, and we're going to try and see if you can do it back to back, and we're just going to keep going. So it's 5 different exercises 10 times. Okay, that's 3, 5, 6, 8, 9. Good. Straight into our front support rocks. So keeping your technique and your form, chest in, this is 2, making sure your arms are straight. And you're rocking through your toes. 6, 7, 8, 9. Then when you're we're ready, we're going to move on to our bunny hops. Really strong arms as we do come up into our press handstand or even just a normal handstand. You want to be sure you have good strength and stability through your shoulders as well as all parts of your arms and your chest too. That's it. When we're up to 10 we go into our tuck-ins and we're all good to go. 2. That's it. Again, if you need to, you flatten your legs flat on the floor and not keeping them raised to make sure you do have the right technique and you're not going to hurt yourself. Once you've done 10, we can start stretching. Now moving on to our stretching, we are going to start off with our shoulders and our arms. Okay, so these are going to be some of the most flexible stretch places we need to have. Okay, so we're going to start with our arm circle. So we're going to do 10 backwards and 10 forwards. All right, so 2, and moving on to our forwards. And our opposite as well. So we'll do 5 one way opposite and 5 the other way. So 1 goes forward and 1 goes back. And the other way. Awesome. Now we're going to open and close our shoulders. So again, going past in front and behind. You can clap in front and behind, or you can even cross your arms and behind. And we're going to do that 10 times. There we go. We're going to do some shoulder shrugs backwards and forwards. And on the ground as well. So fingers out as far as you can. Holding for 10, and then we're going to turn our hands, fingers facing our bottom, bending our elbows, trying to not let our elbows come out. We want to try and keep them tucked in as much as possible. Even our aim could be to get our elbows to touch. That's it. A few more shoulder shrugs, then we'll move on to our legs and our hip flexors that need to be open. So we're going to sit in our butterfly and push our knees down to the floor, hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then leaning forward, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and one more time, knees pushing down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and leaning forward, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, sitting in our straddle, leaning over to one side, that's it. Then I want your arms to go around in front and over to the other side. And again, over to the first side, hands on either side of your leg, leaning forward as far as you can, trying to get your chest on your leg. And around. And then leaning forward, making sure your big toes aren't turned in, your knees are up at the roof. That's it. Then we're also going to lean forward with our hands in front, not letting our hands or our chest or our stomach touch the floor. So we really want to strengthen our inner thigh muscles. Okay, so leaning forward as far as you can, try not to collapse, okay? So hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relaxing. We're going to do it one more time for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Now we're going to move on to our forearms and our wrists, okay? So making our fingers face our knees, keeping our arms nice and straight and stretching. Good, then when with one arm, I want you to bend your arm slightly. Okay, so just one arm at a time. And then straighten it again and just give an extra stretch for your wrist and your forearm. And then your other arm too. So keeping your arm straight. With your straight arm, if that's enough of a stretch and you can really feel it, don't recommend bending your arm, but if you can bend it slightly to get a bit of a more stretch, definitely do so. and hold that bend, and then straighten again. Again, if you can't bend your arm, don't do it, just keep your arm straight and hold for the same amount of time. Okay, bend the backs of your hands, stretch your wrist the other way, and the front of your arm too. Okay, again with one arm, if you need to, you can also bend your elbow a little bit towards your fingers and it will stretch your wrist a bit more. Then slowly back straightening it again, making sure you do both. Bending if you need. Again, also not letting your wrist just lift, trying to push your wrist down to the floor. And then straightening it out, nice and slow and controlled. Give a bit of a shake, do some wrist rolls and some waves. All right, then we'll stretch our neck, so just ear to our shoulder. Don't bring your shoulder up to your ear, let your head relax down. And the other way. Then the first way again, and I want you to slowly look up at the roof, keeping your ear down and looking down at the floor. Not all the way down, you want to keep your ear and your shoulder facing each other. And moving the other way, looking up. And then looking down. Very good. Then we will sit in our seal stretch. We can stretch our back a little bit. Well, we mainly want to be focusing on our wrists, our forearms, our hips, our legs, and our shoulders. Do some rock and rolls. All right, we're ready to move on to some drills. Now that we're nice and warm, we're going to stay on the floor and we're going to start by using our hip flexors and our thigh muscles. All right, so we're going to sit in our pike. We're going to put our hands right next to our bottom. Okay, and we're going to do some lifts with our legs. All right, so we're going to start again, shoulders over our wrists, all right, and trying to keep the weight over our body the whole time, all right? So not leaning back, it's going to be a bit easier to lift our legs, but it's also going to be using our core muscles, which is not really what we want this time. Okay, and leaning forward, it's just going to be trickier, and we don't want to have our folded body, we want to have a tall chest. Okay, so hands blocking through our shoulders, pushing our shoulders down, all the way through our wrists, fingers spread out a little bit, and we're going to lift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. So nothing too high and nothing too really folding your hips. Okay, we just want to be using our muscles, all right, just to get used to lifting our legs and putting them back down. Then you're going to move your hands a little bit closer to your feet, so they can be next to your knees. They can even be in between your thighs, in the middle of them, all right, but we also want to make sure we've got weight over our wrists. So if they are in front of us, not just slouching down and letting our hands flop, you want to be digging and pushing the palms of your hands into the floor, and we're going to do it again 10 times, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's it. Now we're going to go one step further. So again, leaning forward a little bit more. You can put them next to your heels or in between your calves, all right? This is gonna be even trickier, but it's just using your hip flexor muscles, your pelvic floor muscle, and your thighs. Okay, so leaning forward, pushing through your hands, lift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's it. All right, now we're going to sit in our straddle, all right, but we don't want our straddle really wide. We just want a small straddle to start off with as we're focusing on our leg strength. All right, so we're not focusing on how big our straddle can be. Okay, we're going to start with our hands in front of us, fingers spread out, pushing through our fingers, but also over our wrists and the palms of our hands. Okay, making sure our weight is distributed over our wrists rather than leaning back, because we're going to do some leg lifts. And again, lifting our leg while we're leaning back, it's just working all different muscles. That's not what we want to be focusing on right now. Okay, and leaning forward, we can still lift them, but it's going to be much harder as all of our weight is blocked over our body where we want to be, on top of and above. Okay, so we don't want to bend our knees when we lift. All right, we want to lift from our thigh muscles, the top of our thighs. Okay, so we're going to do 5 on each leg, keeping our hands in front. Again, slightly leaning forward with a round chest to keep our weight over our wrists. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and our other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Now we're going to go back to our first leg. We're going to put one hand on either side. All right, we're going to do the same thing. Same thing as before, not too far forward, not too far back. Hands just over our wrists and lifting our leg 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. Now we're going to put our hands back in the middle and we're going to lift both at the same time. So lifting both legs, not through our knees, but through our upper thigh muscles, trying to get our heels to be the first thing to lift. All right, 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keeping those knees straight. Now we're going to lift our bottom 5 times, holding at the top for 2 seconds. All right, so lift 1, 2, and down. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and last one, hold 1, 2. There we go. Definitely do some rolls with your wrists and stretching them out a little bit. Even do them in between each set of leg lift that you do. Again, up the reps if you want to, and maybe repeat it if you also are close to your press handstand or you just want to get your legs and thighs extra strong. All right, now we're going to head over to the wall and Brad's going to join us over there for some handstand prep as well. All right, now we're going to do a handstand against the wall. Okay, so you can do it against the wall. You can do a tucker or a pike half handstand on a box or a chair, whatever you have at home. Do it to your limit, but Brad's going to do it for a minute. So if you can hold it for a minute, try and do it for as long as Brad can. Okay, so as you get up, your feet need to be flexed against the wall, making sure that's the only thing that is touching the wall. So your chest is in, you're pushing up through your shoulders and your knees aren't bent, so everything is stacked above each other. All right, when you're ready. Have your timer ready, have a phone, a stopwatch, whatever you have at home, and put it on for a minute. Okay, your aim is for a minute, the same length as Brad, but at least if you do have your timer, you can see how long you held it for, and then try and get better and better as the weeks go on. Okay, so again, pushing up through your shoulders, having your chest in, spotting your fingers, squeezing your bottom and making sure your feet are together as well. Okay, we really just don't want to break our technique, we want to keep that same straight shape the whole time. All right, and having your feet flexed on the wall will help achieve that rather than leaning on the wall, okay? Having your belly against the wall is also a great, and it's ideal when you're trying to work on technique and understanding your shoulders and holding all your body weight over your hands. All right, so you've got 20 seconds left. That's it, and this is really going to help with strength for any type of skill, not just a press handstand. Having a good straight shape is going to be fundamental for all gym sports and all skills. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's it, very good. All right, now we're going to do a little straddle press, so just from a half straddle, so your legs are going to be a bit further in your straddle, okay? Hands are going to be in front of you, leaning forward a little bit, getting your fingers ready, and all you're going to do is pull your feet up the floor and together in between your hands, okay? So you want to try and lift them and pull them together. All right, just getting used to leaning over your hands, putting the weight on your hands with no feet on the floor and in. Okay, so we're going to attempt 5. All right, again, getting your feet in the nice wide stance, leaning forward, pulling up through your fingers and your shoulders, trying to get your bottom over your shoulders as well, okay, to get your feet together. This is our 4th. And pulling in. That's it, and this is our 5th. So you're just attempting, maybe do 5 a day to get better and better, but you're just really aiming to get your feet together while pulling through your body rather than jumping together, just like that. All right, now that we've got our legs nice and warm, we are going to start on our handstands, okay? So before we even attempt to do a press, we do need to understand and have control and strength through our arms and our shoulders. So we're going to do a few kick up to handstands and try and hold it as long as we can. All right, so moving on to our first handstand, we're going to do 5. Starting in our lunge, holding our handstand just for a few seconds, and then coming down, trying your hardest to also land in your lunge at the end as well. Okay, moving on to our second, kicking up just as high as you can. If you can do a bunny hop, if you can do a half handstand, if you can do a full handstand, definitely do so. We just want to get pressure onto our arms and get right up into our handstand when we can. Okay, kicking up, making our feet over our bottom, over our shoulders, over our wrists, really controlling and squeezing everything at the top. Okay, this is our fourth handstand. And coming down into our lunge, that's it. Alright, for our fifth handstand, give your shoulders a bit of a shrug, give your wrists a bit of a roll and a shake. Okay, I want you guys to attempt to hold the handstand as long as Brad can. Okay, so time the handstand or do it for as long as you can, as long as Brad does it. Alright, see if you can do it, that's your challenge. Holding as long as you can, try and fight it, hold as long as Brad can, really control. And control on the way down as well. Alright, so that's your challenge. If you can, hold it for as long as you can, or as long as Brad. Take a video, take a photo, add it to our Facebook page, and then Brad might attempt to try and beat you as well.